Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. Just make sure you subscribe and tap on the like button. So to make this bow, I'm just going to cut out a fabric, and this fabric is about 22 inches long. So this depends on how you want it to be on your body. Just measure the length on your body and where you want it to stay. And for the width, I'm using about 15 inches. And don't forget, this fabric is on a fold. So I have two pieces of this. So please make sure you add allowance as you take the measurement, because you're going to be making some stitches around. And now I'm just going to fold this fabric like this again, so that I can create a slight curve on the edges, which makes my bow look a bit realistic. And I'm just going to take 5 inches on that corner, and I'll also take 5 inches on this other part like this. And after doing that, I'm going to create a slight curve that looks like this on the both sides like this. And after doing that, I'm going to get my scissors and cut this out. And before I cut, I'm going to fold this again so that I can see the markings, and cut it together so that every part will come out the same way. So I'm just going to cut this out like this, and I'll go ahead and open this to see what it looks like. And after cutting this out, I can see that I'm not okay with the curve. So I'm going to fold this back again and add a little more extension to the curve like this, so that my bow is looking nice and a bit realistic. So this depends on how you want it. Some bows come out straight. If you want that, you can do it, but this is how I wanted mine to look. So after doing that, this is what it looks like now, and I think I'm okay with the shape. So the next thing I need to do is to arrange this and cut out any part that is still together, that is not open yet. So I'm just going to cut it open, and this part I'm going to cut out like this. And once I'm done doing that, I will be taking this fabric to the sewing machine, and I'll be sewing all around by 1/2 inch. I'll place this right side facing right side, and I'll take this to my sewing machine and sew all around. So once I get to my sewing machine, I'm going to stitch by 1/2 inch. And when I'm done, almost done, I'm going to leave about 4 inches of this fabric open so that I can turn the fabric inside out. Remember, you're stitching on the wrong part of the fabric. So this is what it looks like after stitching, and I have about 4 inches open, or even 3, so that I can turn this inside out. And I forgot to mention that you should make sure you are using a interface if your fabric is light. But as you can see, I'm using Ankara fabric print, so this is hard enough, and I do not need an interface. If you are making use of crepe or all those lightweight fabrics, please make sure you use interface so that it gives it weight. Now I just went ahead to create notches all around so that I can turn this around easily and it's not looking bulky. So this is me trying to turn this inside out like this. Just take your time to do this, and this is what it's going to look like. And of course, I'll need to give this a good press so that everything lays flat and it's looking nice and neat. So once that is done, I'm going to finish the remaining part of this fabric I left open. Of course, we're not going to leave that part open. So all I need to do is to fold it and make a top stitch. I'm just going to fold this in like this, and I'll give a very neat top stitch. And this is what it's looking like after doing that. You can barely notice that there's a stitch on top of the fabric. So guys, after doing this, it's time to make the pleats. And before I do that, I'm going to mark the center of this fabric So using my tape, I'm just going to locate the center both vertically and horizontally so that everything is uniform and put together. So I'll start making my pleats. Before I do that, I'm just going to make the mark like this so that I would work with that position and I know that that's where everything should gather and stop at. So now I'm going to go ahead and carefully pleat this fabric. I'm going to pleat this fabric like this. As I pleat, I'm going to open it up so that it is looking nice and realistic. So as I pleat, I would open it up like this. I'll go ahead and do this till I get to the top of the fabric. And of course, before you start doing this, make sure you have your fabric in place. That's the fabric you would like to use to bind it up together so that you don't have to release the splits and to get what you want to use for the wrapping. And now, as you can see, I'm almost at the end of the fabric. And this is what I have. I'm just going to arrange everywhere so that it's looking nice. And I'll get my needle and thread and I'll try to sew this, like keep this in place. And then I'll get my fabric and I'll wrap this up. Of course, if you're making this for a dress, make sure you're using something that looks nice and fancy. Like you must have sewn it in and turn it out. You get, like, make it look neat so that it looks presentable. So I'm just going to wrap this up, and at first I wanted to tie it, but I think that was going to shrink the bow, so it's better to wrap it up neatly so that it would come out properly. And after doing this, I'll make a stitch and keep the fabric in place. So when you're done doing this, you can as well accessorize it with some beads or something, just anything to make it look good. And that's all about making a bow. It's really simple. I just attached it to my dress form and pinned it up like this. As you can see, it's looking so nice. Thank you for watching this video. See you in my next one. Bye.